Costs are still too high. And on a deeper level, for too many people, no matter how much they work, it feels so hard to just be able to get ahead. As president, I will be laser focused on creating opportunities for the middle class that advance their economic security, stability, and dignity. Together, we will build what I call an opportunity economy.
For the first time since becoming the Democratic nominee for president, we are getting a look at what Vice President Harris says she wants to do with the economy if she wins the election in November.
Harris held a campaign event in Raleigh, North Carolina this afternoon and spoke for about 40 minutes. Now, much like former President Trump's economic proposals that I outlined in a lot of detail in this video on Wednesday, what Harris announced today were just some big ideas. But there weren't a lot of specifics about how.
Building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
And just as I said when I reported on Trump's plans, a lot of what Harris proposed today cannot be done by the president alone. These big ideas, for the most part, have to go through Congress or have to go through the states. But like Trump and every other politician in the history of this country, Vice President Harris is making campaign promises. So just as I did with Trump's plans, I'm just going to play you the sound bites of her plans. I'm going to start with her plans to lower the cost of food.
Prices went up during the pandemic when the supply chains shut down and failed. But our supply chains have now improved. And prices are still too high. Look, I know most businesses are creating jobs, contributing to our economy, and playing by the rules. But some are not. And I will work to pass the first ever federal ban on price gauging on food. My plan will include new penalties for opportunistic companies that exploit crises and break the rules, and we will support smaller food businesses that are trying to play by the rules and get ahead. We will help the food industry become more competitive because I believe competition is the lifeblood of our economy. More competition means lower prices for you and your families.
Then she promised to bring down the cost of housing.
There's a serious housing shortage. In many places, it's too difficult to build, and it's driving prices up. As president, I will work in partnership with industry to build the housing we need, both to rent and to buy. We will take down barriers and cut red tape, including at the state and local levels. And by the end of my first term, we will end America's housing shortage by building 3 million new homes and rentals that are affordable for the middle class. And we will make sure those homes actually go to working and middle class Americans, not just investors. While we work on the housing shortage, my administration will provide first-time home buyers with $25,000 to help with the down payment on a new home. Some corporate landlords collude with each other to set artificially high rental prices, often using algorithms in price-fixing software to do it. It's anti-competitive and it drives up costs. I will fight for a law that cracks down on these practices.
She also talked about cutting taxes for the middle class.
Under my plan, more than 100 million Americans will get a tax cut, and we will do this by restoring 2 tax cuts designed to help middle class and working Americans: the Earned Income Tax Credit and the Child Tax Credit.
Now, by restore, she means restoring the child tax credit back to the $3,600 level that we saw during the pandemic instead of the current $2,000 child tax credit. As for the earned income tax credit, she wants to again restore the same provision we saw during the pandemic, which gave frontline workers with low income jobs without dependent children a tax credit of up to $1,500. But that wasn't all.
So as president, I'll not only restore that tax cut, but expand it. We will provide $6,000 in tax relief to families during the first year of a child's life. And we will do this while reducing the deficit.
And she also made promises about lowering medical costs. She said she wants to expand on the Biden-era law that caps the price of insulin at $35 for seniors and allows Medicare to negotiate drug prices.
I'll lower the cost of insulin and prescription drugs for everyone with your support, not only our seniors. And demand transparency from the middlemen who operate between Big Pharma and the insurance companies who use opaque practices to raise your drug prices and profit off your need for medicine. 2 months ago, I announced that medical debt will no longer be used against your credit score. And I will work as president with states like here in North Carolina, Roy Cooper, thank you again, to cancel medical debt for more and more, millions more Americans.
During her event, Harris mentioned Trump only 5 times, every time attacking him for what she sees as his economic failures. She said she will be going into greater detail about the plans for what she wants to do with the economy in the coming days and weeks.